The Ricky Nelson mystery, solve at last, and isn't pleasant. Born Eric Hilliard Nelson on the 8th of May, 1940 in Teen, New Jersey, Ricky Nelson was practically born into show business as the son of AZ and Harriet Nelson, two of the leading entertainers of the day. At an early age, he was exposed to the entertainment industry, co-starring with his family on the long-running radio and eventually television show The Adventures of AZ and Harriet, a series that followed the daily lives of the Nelson family and became a fixture of American living rooms in the 1950s and early 60s. As he matured in the sight of millions of viewers, Ricky's charm, looks, and innate talent won him over to the hearts of the masses instantly. But while many other child stars remained stuck in the constricting image of a family sitcom hero, Nelson broke the chains by forging a truly successful music career. During a period when rock and roll was still thought of as controversial by older generations, Ricky Nelson became one of its most revered and lasting figures. He cut his first single, early success I'm Walking, in 1957, a remake of Fats Domino's hit, and it rapidly climbed to the top of the charts. This first album not only served as the start of his concurrent career as a rock and roll vocalist, but also cemented him as a teen idol in his own right. Throughout the late 1950s and early 1960s, Ricky Nelson continued to amass hit after hit with recordings such as Hello Mary Lou, Traveling Man, Poor Little Fool, Lonesome Town, and It's Late. His clean-cut appearance and smooth melodic voice made rock music acceptable to the masses and won him a loyal following. He was one of the first teen idols to regularly appear on national TV, familiarizing millions of Americans with rock music from their living rooms, a development that prefigured the impact of subsequent acts such as the Beatles. By age 21, Ricky Nelson had already sold millions of records and been one of the top-selling solo men of his time. But Ricky Nelson's road to success was the Stone Canyon Band, not without its setbacks. When musical tastes started turning midway through the 1960s, Nelson could not keep himself at the pinnacle of the charts. Instead of following a changing trend, he decided to mature as an artist, going into a more sophisticated country rock sound. The change would result in the creation of the Stone Canyon Band, an outfit that would pioneer the country rock sound, a style later picked up by such bands as the Eagles. In 1972, he had the introspective hit single Garden Party, which was a huge comeback success. Influenced by an unpromising reception, he got a concert in Madison Square Garden, where the crowd only wanted his previous hits. The song was a rebellious anthem regarding artistic integrity and authenticity. It was an influential message. You can't make everybody happy, so you've got to make yourself happy. Aside from his incredible career as a recording artist, Ricky Nelson earned a notable role in film and television as well, demonstrating his multifaceted talent as singer and actor. On screen, his career began in 1952 with lighthearted family comedy Here Come the Nelsons, a movie that rode his popularity based on his well-known family. Only a year after his film debut, Nelson had a small but not forgettable part in the tale of Three Loves, 1953, an MGM film directed by the great Vincente Minnelli. In this movie, Nelson played a young version of Farley Gross's character, showing that even at this young age, he had the ability to bring people on the screen to life. While his popularity grew Western Rio Bravo with his music career and the popular TV show, The Adventures of AZ and Harriet, major Hollywood directors took notice of his talents. Perhaps the most iconic moment of his movie career came in 1959 when legendary director Howard Hawks hired him as a gunslinger in the classic Western Rio Bravo. Shared with legendary icons Dean Martin and John Wayne, Nelson's part contributed new vitality to the movie, and even Hawks himself attributed Nelson's compelling screen presence as one of the crucial determinants for the film's massive box office. Nelson went on to add to his acting portfolio by co-starring with veteran stars. He starred in 1960 alongside the electrifying Jack Lemmon in The Craziest Ship in the Army, a war comedy film that became so popular it led to a television series. Although Nelson himself did not reprise his performance for the small screen, ever ready to try out different roles, he had guest spots on shows such as General Electric Theater, on which his episode The Wish Book demonstrated his acting capability aside from his musical success. In Love and Kisses 1965, Nelson portrayed the starring role in Love and Kisses, which is a romantic comedy specially designed as a family affair written and directed by his father, A.Z. Nelson. The movie also starred Jack Kelly, and it enabled Ricky to mix his acting ability with his musical skills and charm to come up with an entertaining and sincere feature. Nelson's television guest appearances became a routine part of his career during the late 1960s and 70s. He played the legendary outlaw Jesse James in an episode of Hondo, guest starred in the nostalgic western The Over the Hill Gang, 1969, with veterans Walter Brennan and Pat O'Brien, and kept turning up in such popular shows as MLOUD, The Streets of San Francisco, Owen Marshall, Counselor at Law, Petrocelli, and A Twist in the Tale. One of the most notable guest appearances was on the Hardy Boys' Nancy Drew Mysteries, where Nelson had the role of Tony Eagle. Not only did the episode showcase his acting, but also his singing abilities as he sang a number of his popular hits, pleasing his music and acting fans alike. Nelson's presence also adorned the popular The Love Boat, contributing to his extensive catalog of varied television roles. As his career rolled forward into the Harriet 1980s, Nelson kept pursuing supporting roles in TV movies like 3 on a Date and the teen comedy High School USA 1983, demonstrating that his lasting charm and ability kept him in demand on various entertainment platforms. On both the big and small screens, Ricky Nelson's acting career was a colorful and dynamic continuation of his diverse artistic legacy. In his adolescence, Ricky Nelson was also one of America's greatest teen idols, winning the hearts of millions with his clean-cut image, rich singing voice, and boyish charm. Such popularity brought with it intense scrutiny from fans and media alike, and it was inevitable that he drew the admiration of many young ladies. Ricky, as was typical of most teenagers, was keen on experiencing romantic relationships, and he went out with several girls during these early years. Nevertheless, even though Ricky enjoyed popularity and independence, his mother, Harriet Nelson, still exerted control over his personal life. Harriet not only served as a parental guiding light, but also as co-star on the family's long-running TV series, The Adventures of A.Z. and Harriet. She had firm convictions regarding propriety, decorum, and the need to project a respectable public image at all times, particularly under the bright lights of Hollywood. Harriet did not approve of most of the young women Ricky introduced into her home or was found with, usually finding that they did not live up to her standards for her son. Her objections weren't simply concerns regarding class or decorum, but also regarding Ricky's professional direction. She thought his attention should be devoted to establishing a stable and well-regarded music and acting career over allowing himself to be distracted by short-term romantic affairs. Her overprotectiveness can be attributed to both motherly instinct and complete knowledge of how quickly a young celebrity's life could be derailed by fame. Ricky, while frequently obedient of his mother's desires, felt the tension between personal wishes and professional ambitions. This tension was an ongoing theme throughout his teenage years and early 20s. Eventually, though, Ricky fell for a young lady who appeared to be acceptable to Harriet, Kristen "Chris" Harmon. The two were wed in April 1963 in a highly publicized wedding uniting two of America's most noted families. Chris was the daughter of Heisman Trophy-winning football great Tom Harmon and 1940s movie actress Elise Knox. The Harmons were close friends of the Nelsons, and the marriage was perceived as a natural and ideal union. Two children of Hollywood royalty marrying in what most fans thought was a fairy tale wedding. Both families had a long-standing bond by way of entertainment and public life, and this marriage in every sense continued their dynasties. Ricky and Chris had 4 children together. Their first child, Tracy Christine Nelson, followed after her father and became an actress, gaining fame with the roles she got in television and film, such as in the TV show Father Dowling Mysteries. Chris later had twin sons, Gunnar Eric Nelson and Matthew Gay Nelson, who inherited their father's singing ability and charm. The twins were successful in the early 1990s with their rock group Nelson, which was the first family act in history to have 3 generations of hitmakers. Their top hit single, Can't Live Without Your Love and Affection, dominated the Billboard charts in 1990. The couple's youngest son, Sam Hilliard Nelson, whom they had named after Ricky's father, A.Z. Nelson, whose middle name was Hilliard, also made it into the creative field, although he mostly avoided the spotlight as opposed to his siblings. In spite of the appearance of a nuclear family that seemed to have it all,